Mr. Bryce Shonka.
How you folks doing? You folks are currently sitting on the front lines of the most critical battle in our republic's history, and that is the battle between the states and the federal government.
That's right.
The federal government came in and claimed authority over one of the most vital parts of our existence, which is our food and our water supply.
That's right.
And I'm here to tell you that there's a course of action that we can take to reverse the claims that they are making right now. In 1798, we saw the first evidence of a new American tradition at the time called nullification. Has anyone heard of this? All right, well then I'm really happy to be able to share that with you today. The sitting vice president at the time was a man you may have heard of. He was called Thomas Jefferson. And the president, John Adams, had decided that he was going to take control of the country and eliminate anyone from being critical of the federal government. He actually put 24 newspaper editors in jail. Newspaper editors who were just writing articles questioning the federal government. What Thomas Jefferson and James Madison did at the time is they, in secret, wrote what was called the Virginia and Kentucky Resolutions of 1798. And what they said was, the federal government is an agent of the states and not the other way around. This is the way our republic was set up, and this was the way that our founding fathers decided to protect our interests. Does anybody here know who in the American system of government sits at the very top? Who sits at the top of the totem pole? Who is at the top of the food chain? I've heard of Federal Reserve, I've heard other people say the U.S. Supreme Court, but I heard the correct answer out there in the crowd. The correct answer is you.
We the people! Woo!
The American people are the sovereigns in our republic, and they call the shots. The federal government was set up as an agent of the states to do very specific things, and the list is not long. It's about 30 to 35 things. Making decisions about pumping irrigation water was not among them. So what we have to do now, in the face of unprecedented federal tyranny, is we have to call on the traditions started by Thomas Jefferson. And if the people of a given state decide that the federal government is acting outside of the limits set by the Constitution, that law is null, void, and of no force. Those are the tools we've been given. I've heard the word revolution frequently, especially in the past 12 months. My personal opinion is that a revolution is not required. We were given powerful tools to rein in this out-of-control federal government by the founding fathers. It's all in the Constitution, folks. And the fact is, through decades of schooling and textbooks approved by the Federal Board of Education, our people are not aware of the tools that we were given 200 years ago. And it's time to pick them up again, and it's time to put them to good use. Nullification is not a complicated process. The most important part of nullification involves just talking to your neighbors. It involves talking with your community members and with your representatives in your county and in your state, because they are there in a primary role as your protector from the federal government. So I think it's time that we ask them to do their jobs. I run California 10th Amendment Center. For those of you who don't know about 10th Amendment Center, we started in 2006, and at that time we were opposed to the unconstitutional federal acts under the Bush administration. So we got a whole new crop of folks coming out now that Obama is sitting in office, but the mission remains the same. Our goal is to have a 10th Amendment Center in every county and every state of the Republic, watching over the rights of the people and looking out for your sovereignty. Decentralization is a trend that we are about 5 years behind in this country. The rest of the world has figured it out, folks. It didn't work for the Russians, did it? No. Well, that's what we're headed for right now, and I think that a lot of people who are deciding to trust the federal government right now are making a grave mistake. They don't know what they have to lose, because they've never seen the ugliness that is a centralized state where everything you do is controlled, where your health is a matter of some bureaucrat's decision, where water for your farm is decided by somebody 5,000 miles away on the East Coast. Is that what we want? Go to our website. It's california.10thamendmentcenter.com, or just Google 10th Amendment Center. You'll find us. And get in touch with me. I can set you up with people in your area who are looking to nullify right now. I can tell you that this movement is growing faster than anything I've ever seen. And I think that as more people understand that they have an option besides bowing down to their federal masters, that it will only continue to grow.
We don't bow.
Amen.
If we the people decide that we're tired of the federal government, then that's it. Nothing else is required. No Supreme Court decision, no legislative process, nothing more than we the people deciding that we've had enough and that we're not going to stand for it anymore. There's a lot that you can do. Again, the primary job right now is not a revolution involving torches and pitchforks, it's a revolution of thought. We have to turn the thinking around. We have to remind people that the federal government is their employee, if you will.
That's right.
And not the tax man coming around with the sword to chase you down the street because you didn't fill out a form correctly. They're there to serve us, folks. So I'll leave you with this thought. He borrows words from a man that was well known a few years ago. I like the first part of his thought, and I changed the second. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask your state. That's where things like Obamacare, that's where things like this hideous business with the Delta smelt can come to an end. Know that you are on the front lines of one of the most critical battles in American history. Get the message out there. You've got email, you've got the internet, you've got your mouths, you've got hands and pieces of paper and pens. There's no need to rely on the establishment because they're not going to be there. This is a movement of we the people. Always remember that, and enjoy the rest of your tax day.
Yeah.